Hello, this is the Vietnam Social News Update for October 11th, 2025. Date of news coverage, October 11th, 2025. Politics. Vietnam's top political focus today centers on the conclusion of General Secretary To Lum's state visit to North Korea, which wrapped up early Saturday morning with his return to Hanoi. During his stay in Pyongyang, To Lum witnessed and participated in high-level events commemorating the 80th anniversary of the Workers' Party of Korea, and led his delegation in signing cooperation agreements with North Korean counterparts. The trip is historic, the first by a Vietnamese leader to North Korea in nearly 20 years, and signals Hanoi's intent to reassert ideological and diplomatic links, even as it diversifies its external ties. More specifically, the agreements signed cover fields such as defense, foreign affairs, and health, though details were scant in the North Korean state media statements. These pacts underscore Vietnam's willingness to engage in party diplomacy beyond trade and development, and reflect broader strategic messaging. For observers, the visit sends a dual signal. Vietnam is reaffirming old alliances while underscoring its independence in foreign policy, willing to talk to all sides without being boxed into any one camp. Back home, observers are watching how this visit meshes with internal pressures. The Communist Party has lately pushed ahead with institutional reforms, cutting bureaucracy, enhancing discipline, and streamlining state functions. Against a backdrop of rising regional tensions, the leadership also seems to be reinforcing the role of the party as the central axis of governance, especially in fields like security, diplomacy, and strategic direction. Hanoi appears determined to balance external outreach with consolidated internal control. Economy. Now, let's move to the economy. Vietnam's third-quarter growth figures stunned many international watchers. GDP rose 8.22% to 8.23% year-on-year, outpacing the previous quarter's pace and surpassing many forecasts. This expansion comes despite the August 7th imposition of a 20% U.S. tariff on key Vietnamese exports. Over the first 9 months, Vietnam reported a trade surplus of about $16.8 billion, and total trade turnover exceeded $680 billion. The growth was underpinned by strength in non-textile sectors, electronic components, chemicals, and coffee, offsetting weakness in garments and footwear. Yet the tariff shock is real. In September, footwear exports to the U.S. plunged about 27% month-over-month, and textile exports also declined. Some forecasts project that continued tariff pressure could shave 0.5 to 0.7 percentage points off Vietnam's full-year growth. In response, Hanoi is redoubling its pursuit of new markets and trade agreements, trying to ease reliance on any single partner. A major development in the financial realm is the FTSE Russell upgrade of Vietnam's stock market status from frontier to secondary emerging market, slated to take effect in September 2026, pending review. This reclassification has already driven the benchmark index to record highs, with analysts estimating that it could channel in 3.5 to 6 billion US dollars or more in foreign capital inflows in the near term. In longer horizons, inflows of up to 25 billion US dollars by 2030 are considered possible if Vietnam maintains reform momentum. The upgrade is being seen as a signal to global investors. Vietnam's markets are maturing, and its financial architecture is becoming more open. Society and culture. Next, in society and culture, Vietnam remains under pressure from severe weather. After torrential rains and flooding in the north and central regions, local authorities reported major damage to infrastructure, agricultural losses, and disruptions to daily life. Insurance agencies have recorded thousands of claims totaling in the hundreds of millions of Vietnamese dong. In one striking incident, a waterspout was spotted off Dong Tak Beach in Phu Yen, drawing attention and social media buzz. In northern areas like Thanh Nguyen Province, debris, mud, and battered roads reflect the scale of the challenge. On the media and cultural front, Vietnam is pushing to amplify its voice internationally. The state-operated English-language channel Vietnam Today began broadcasting in September 2025. Launched as the country's first 24/7 international news and culture platform, it is designed to reshape narratives about Vietnam abroad, to showcase its development, policy, arts, and diplomacy in fluent English. As such, it is a key piece in Hanoi's external communication strategy. Cultural sectors, film, music, digital media, are also evolving rapidly. Artists and creators increasingly mix local motifs with global aesthetics, trying to capture both domestic resonance and international appeal. In heritage zones like Hoi An, Hue, and Hanoi's Old Quarter, tensions persist between modern tourism development and preservation of authenticity. Meanwhile, creative diplomacy is alive. In Pyongyang, cultural and ideological collaboration was part of the To Lum itinerary, reinforcing the role of soft power in Hanoi's overseas engagements. International relations. Finally, in international relations, To Lum's presence in Pyongyang coincided with North Korea's Grand Military Parade, which unveiled the new Hwasong-20 intercontinental ballistic missile, described by Kim Jong-un as the regime's strongest strategic weapon. International dignitaries, including Russian and Chinese officials, attended the event. In this context, Vietnam's participation is symbolic. It reinforces Hanoi's posture as an independent bridge between ideological blocs, rather than a passive client to any power. It also suggests Vietnam wants a seat of relevance in regional security dialogues. Vietnam and North Korea formally agreed to deepen cooperation across defense, foreign affairs, and health ministries. While the announcements were vague, they portend a renewed bilateral agenda beyond mere symbolism, a possible revival of party networks, technical exchanges, and diplomatic confidence. For Hanoi, the move underscores its willingness to engage in multifaceted diplomacy, even with states under international isolation. Elsewhere, Vietnam continues to build its network of strategic relationships. It currently holds comprehensive strategic partnerships with a dozen nations, spanning the US, China, Japan, South Korea, India, Singapore, Indonesia, and others. In each case, Hanoi is seeking balance, deepening economic, security, and cultural links without becoming overly dependent. As Vietnam steps into emerging market status, its foreign policy is adapting. Greater weight on financial diplomacy, multilateral institutions, and soft power projection. Thank you for listening to the Vietnam Social News Update. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And see you again tomorrow. This news summary is based on publicly available reports and rewritten uniquely for Vietnam Social News. VietnamNews.com is the official web address of Vietnam Social News. We are an independent platform, not affiliated with Vietnam News Agency or any government-owned media outlet.